This time, on Graveyard Carz, Alyssa is back, and she's gunning for a new car. But when Mark refuses to play ball, will she go behind his back to wheel and deal?
Wait, what about my dad?
Your dad? Everything was going so good.
And will Alyssa promise what she can't deliver?
I need him to cut his hair off.
That is no problem.
Find out on the season finale of Graveyard Carz. Beneath the fog, behind the rust, sometimes they come back. There's only one internationally recognized Mopar master, Mark Warman, joined by his friends, family, and dream team, the Ghouls.
Nobody wants to take on the stuff that we take on.
Reviving the past,
100% untouched survivor.
resurrecting the icons of American muscle,
We are the Shaolin priests of Mopar.
uncovering stories,
It's the baddest car we have here.
and restoring dreams,
The most iconic muscle car on the planet.
putting cars back where they belong. On the road.
Here we go.
Beyond a passion,
Oh, that's wild.
one man's obsession with Mopar perfection. This is Graveyard Carz.
All right, folks, welcome to season 18 finale. Mark Warman, your host and the on-screen talent most of the time for Graveyard Carz. Aaron Smith, who happened to be in the room with me when I thought of Graveyard Carz.
Co-creator, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if that's how that works. So, we are bringing you a very special episode. It's not my favorite episode, I can tell you that right now, for two reasons, and you'll see what they are shortly. However, he's getting a lot of joy out of this right now.
I am.
Tell the folks at home why you have so much joy right now.
One of the big things that we started with on Graveyard Carz was OEM. Everything was original equipment manufacturing, or at least it looked like it. It was made to recreate the OEM experience at any rate.
That's true. Yeah.
And Mark has been just dyed-in-the-wool OE guy. But bit by bit, I would see, like, a little concession for a client
Liberties,
here.
Tony
Liberties,
calls
as Tony
them, okay.
calls them, right? But this episode, there were a lot. I mean, this was like full-on aftermarket craziness, and so, I don't know, I had to get involved.
He seems to get great joy out of when I do things opposite of my normal self. One of the things that happened in this episode I had no control over. It's called a coup d'etat. This was a full-blown, violent attempt to take over the Mark Warman government. The other thing is I'm just doing something for a client. A client asked me to make some changes to an engine, okay? Okay, so with that, I hope you guys enjoy what we've got. So we have a stock OEM head gasket, is that true?
It's true.
You guys see the word top written there on it. It's embossed into the gasket, but we've also highlighted it. Why did we highlight it?
Well, just to make sure that it's staring me right in the eyes when
In
I
the
put
heat of
this,
the moment, you're not going to accidentally put it on upside
put the
down.
head on upside down.
Because
Right.
you wouldn't do that anyway, but it's just
I
extra
wouldn't
safety.
think it was possible, but I sure want to try to make sure I get it right.
Line it up with your two dowels. You now have your head gasket on. The next thing we're going to do is the cylinder head. What we're doing is we're taking a numbers matching original engine to the car. It's a 440 HP engine, original 6-barrel. We're adding the Edelbrock aluminum heads to it, the roller rockers, and the comp mobile thumping cam and the mobile thumping engine. We're also putting the Edelbrock valve covers on it, the aluminum, finned aluminum, which is a good looking valve cover, which are all aftermarket stuff. I agree with all that stuff. So he thinks that I've sold out because I'm putting these on. I want you to know it's not selling out when the original appearance of the engine is maintained in an original equipment manufacturing presentation, okay? The point is we're building out an engine that when we're done will be a higher horsepower engine than a stock one, but it will appear stock, if that's okay with you.
It's perfectly fine with me.
This is our cylinder head, the 3 bolt holes. That is the provisions that they put into the stock replacement aluminum head, so you can still use your alternator and your bolt-on accessories. So let's set that down there. Now these are a little trickier, right? You want to grab that side of
Yes,
the head
sir.
there? It's not terribly heavy, but finding that dowel is always a little time consuming. I happen to like the heads because they bolt right on in the exact same position. Take the original intake manifold to them, right? Everything bolts up right down to the valve covers. They're going to bolt right onto it, okay? This is okay when it appears OEM. One thing that you want to make sure of is that you use the correct cylinder head bolts with it. You can't use the original Mopar ones, even though we like that appearance. You can't do it because there is not enough room in the cylinder head for the larger bolt. You have to use the smaller one with the shoulder and the smaller socket. Now, do you have any problems with that so far, sir?
I have no problem. I like this stuff.
Okay.
I just think it's funny that you're making all these concessions.
We're just going to use the electric 1/4-inch ratchet just to run these down. They don't have any torque on them whatsoever. Just running them in till you hear it click. These things have to be torqued in 3 different settings instead of a light and then a final. This one gets a light, a medium, and a final.
40, 50, and 70.
Okay, these are all snug down. So let's go ahead and start torquing them now, then we'll spin it around, we'll do the other cylinder head.
Okay.
While we're working on torquing down the cylinder heads, the coup d'etat is happening in the paint shop.
I don't know.
Much to my surprise.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a coup d'etat.
I'd call it a coup d'etat. It's an overthrow. It's a violent overthrow of
Not
the government.
violent.
Well, it will be.
Okay, you know I love my sport utility. It's great. Gets me and all the
it's perfect.
kids from
Perfect
there.
for you. Yeah.
I'm kind of ready for something sporty now because there's times that I don't have my kids, and I want to drive, I want to drive
what do
something
you-
cool. Feel
What do
good
you
in
need
it.
something sporty for?
Well, just
You
for
got
fun.
like 800 kids.
Okay, first of all, you still have more kids than me. Okay, I would just like to have, look cool, have something sporty. I want to get a nice Challenger.
Okay.
Something that feels good to ride around in, What do you think my dad's gonna think about it? Because I need to talk to him about
I
it.
talked to your dad like a week ago. He loves those cars. That's one of his favorites. He said, Alyssa's done a really good job at the shop, and you've earned it.
Here's the first example of deception, right? Will is telling Alyssa a bald-faced lie, a bowels of hell lie. I never said any of those things. I wouldn't say any of those things. And he's doing it for the sole purpose of sticking a key in her back and winding her up.
It may not have been his intention. I mean, he might have been just trying to be positive, or maybe he had a different impression of your conversation or something.
That's
you
why
could
I
have
like
said,
having Aaron on the show, because he's going to speak the voice of reason.
He wants to see you in a car. There's no way I'd set you up for failure on that.
Do you think he'll help me get a deal?
Oh, absolutely. He's the brand ambassador for Mopar, so he'll help you get a deal. He's already talked about you getting this car. You got nothing to lose.
But you're serious? He really did say that he's like proud of me and I'm doing a good
Absolutely.
job and I
lie to
deserve
you?
it?
Would I lie to you? I'd just go talk to him, and you're good.
Okay, well,
Okay.
this was great. Thank you.
Let me
I'm
know
gonna
how
go
it
talk
turns
to him.
out.
Of course, I'll let you know what he says.
Thank you. Oh, Mark is gonna hate this.
I got my little mom car, something that like fits everybody in and everything, and I love my Charger still, but Chris drives that. He's messy. That's his car now at this point. But I still want something that when I don't have the kids, I can bomb around town in, feel cool. I don't enjoy driving my mom car, so.
You're 60 years old.
I'm not 60, you're 60 years old.
Somebody in the room 60.
here's what I don't understand, Mark. You're like displaying yourself as some kind of a victim here, but she came to you in your office, talked to you directly, told you all about it.
She lit the fuse, and before it got to the dynamite, she came to tell me, hey, you should run.
I talked to Chris. We were like, looking at our budget and stuff, and we were thinking maybe as long as...
You ever seen that?
Exactly, you can get me a free car.
This has nothing to do with the free
Mopar.
car.
They gave you a free car.
They won't even return my calls right now.
What'd you
I
do?
can't even I didn't do anything
you ruin
except
it for
put their name
everyone?
on the map. Nobody ever heard of Mopar before me.
Okay, I got to call you out on that one. That is a false statement, not true.
Well, it's an alternative fact. If you were passing judgment, I believe the Bible's very clear about that. Filipinos 2:7, judge not, lest ye be judged.
There's a couple problems with that. First off, Paul did not write a letter to the Filipinos. He wrote it to the Philippians, and that particular line is not in there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be found in Matthew, and it's about hypocrisy, not judgment, if you read the whole passage.
Probably a different version Bible than I'm reading. How much money can you afford a month?
Like 400?
You're going to have to buy something for around 20 grand to even be close to that kind of a payment. And they're not going to stretch it 8 years because it's an old car. Go see Paulie. Go see Paulie, tell him that Trey sent you down.
Okay.
See what he'll do for you. You're gonna go down there, you're gonna look, you're gonna see. 20 grand's what you got to spend. If they have something, they have it. If not, maybe he can find you something.
Okay.
And then no buying it until you talk to me.
You just told me you don't want nothing to do with it.
You really want to have a conversation right now on camera about trusting you with cars? You stole my Challenger that has 600 miles on it.
matter.
You had your own car stolen. You wrecked the little Kia
I'll
that we
call
gave you for your
you
birthday.
when I find one I want you to look at,
Almost
okay?
killed a cat. You've destroyed the little Mitsubishi that you drive. It looks like the inside. Kids, you know. Now here's a great example of me taking the high road. I sent her down to a friend of mine's dealership, you know, Don Jones, 600 Roadrunner.
Yeah.
Filmed down there. He owns a couple of dealerships.
Nice
he
guy.
owns a dealership in Cottage Grove. Because I knew they would take care of her. So I didn't feed her to the wolves. I was on her side to make sure that she got a good car for a good price.
I love it. What color? Do you know the color of this?
This is your Plum Crazy, and this is our RT Plus package. It's got less than 10,000 miles on it. It's a 21.
It's a 2021 with
Yeah, so
less
it's
than
almost like brand new.
10,000?
Go ahead. Put your
my
foot on the brake and start it up.
Oh my gosh,
that's-
do you hear
that's-
that? My Charger never sounded like that.
Yeah, we'll
was
step
a
on it a couple
V6.
times, just a little bit. Right?
Oh, you can just feel it. Oh!
Correct. So like I said, this is your RT Plus, so it's got this. You've got nav, heated seats, cold seats, all of that.
Cold
so
seats?
See, and just to remind everybody at home, Alyssa has a $20,000 budget for a car. She shouldn't be looking at a 21 RT with low miles on it, loaded with everything in the world. You're not gonna buy that.
I hate to ask. Where does that put the price at?
just shy of 40 grand. We're like
Whoa!
39,696.
40 grand, oh!
I've taken it, you got a budget, right?
Well, yeah, I have a little bit of a budget.
See, her mama does just the same thing, my wife. She got caviar taste and a Volkswagen budget.
Let's take a look at the other one. Then we
Right,
can
the other
still
one
come
is
back
just
to
an
that.
SXT, so it is a little bit cheaper.
this
so
is the
definitely,
RT.
yeah, this is the RT Plus. So go ahead and have a seat in there and
Okay.
start it up.
That's nice.
This is our
the
SXT.
color isn't not quite as catchy.
I know it's not as cool, huh? This is the gray neutral.
It's still-
go ahead and
it's still
adjust your seat up and everything.
Yeah, it has a healthy sound.
And this has the 3.6 V6 with an automatic tranny. I'll come around and show you some of the features.
Folks, I'm gonna save you a lot of time there at home and let you know that after shopping and kicking tires for 2 hours, Paul did not have anything on the lot for $20,000 that would work. And this, by the way, is where the coup d'etat truly begins.
All right, if you'd like to have a seat right over, Alyssa, I'm gonna go up and see what I can find out, and I'll bring you some information over, okay?
Okay.
Excellent.
How come you didn't tell me about this one?
Because
Oh my
it's
God,
10 grand over your
beautiful.
budget. I'm gonna do some research and
Okay.
I'll see what I can find.
It's not a coup d'etat.
It's a coup d'etat.
No.
Because I see what's going on. You'll all see it by the end of the episode.
Not a coup d'etat.
So Dana, what we got is
What year is this, though?
Mark,
Paul,
2009.
It's a 2009?
2009.
My dad would love this.
Polaroid look. It's Warman's daughter.
Oh my God,
You know, that's her
2009?
budget.
Oh my, does this really only have 21,000 miles
Less than 22, yeah, absolutely.
on a 2009?
Correct. That's why it's on the showroom floor.
This
It's got
is
an aftermarket
beautiful.
supercharger, everything. It's set to go, but like I said, it's 10 over your budget. I'll be right there with what I can see in your budget, okay?
The stage is set and the players have been cast.
You sure he's
The
gonna be okay with those
2009?
accessories?
Okay, wait, we don't.
Got the
we don't-
aftermarket
I don't know.
supercharger. Your dad's. Oh, we
Okay,
don't
we're
have
not
to
gonna-
tell
we're
him.
not gonna tell him some of that. I think
Because he
some
won't know
of it
until he
he'll
opens the hood.
Exactly. But I think, okay, look.
Oh, this is all good stuff. You know I like aftermarket superchargers and loud exhaust. Maybe slam a car to the ground, throw some louvers on it, kick a hole in the roof, make a sunroof out of it. Maybe a big blower on the hood.
I know, those are all things that you like in the right context.
Yeah, I liked him in 1978. That's the
Yeah,
last time I
yeah.
had a context for that crap.
Because you're Mark's daughter. Let me check on the general manager. I know he's probably want to get Dawn and everything involved because of the Roadrunner and stuff.
And enter the 6th floor book depository. I just want you to know that while the plot is thickening down in Cottage Grove, I still have an obligation to put an engine together. Okay, so now we're going to torque these down according to the specification sheet. If you look at the specification sheet, it's a little different than the torque sequence. You see here, Doug, where it goes 2 and 4, and it jumps over 3. Normally it's 1, 2, 3, and then it starts spreading out. So the pattern, the torque pattern's a little different. So so I'm gonna guide him on that. The aluminum head torque sequence pattern is a little bit different than the cast iron ones we normally use. It's probably because the cylinder head is more malleable and maybe more vulnerable to warping. Show them what you have your torque wrench set to there, Dougie.
40 foot-pounds.
Okay, so number one position is right there. Give me 40.
40? I haven't done that since 7th grade. Push-ups.
Oh, 40 push-ups.
Remember that?
Sorry. 2. In addition to that, they have you torquing at 3 different times. They have you going 40 foot-pounds, 55 foot-pounds, and then 70 foot-pounds. Again, to keep it from warping, where the cast iron head, it's 75 foot-pounds, I think, is the torque on it, but they want you to cut that number in half to get started. This torque sequence is very, very important to follow. If you don't torque it in the fashion that they want you to, you can warp that head or damage that head gasket. So you have to follow it exactly. Right down here is 12, 16, and last one is 17, and that completes our passenger side cylinder head. So now we will roll it around and install the other head gasket, cylinder head, and bolts. Got that?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
We're halfway there.
So there you go, folks. If you don't take anything away from this episode, you have that.
Wow, hey, Alyssa,
Hey,
that you?
it is. It's me.
We don't get a lot of celebrities down there in Cottage Grove.
Besides my dad, I guess.
Guys, no matter what happens, we got to get her autograph, okay?
All right.
Oh my
That's for sure.
goodness.
And now the stage is set, folks. We got everybody in. The whole cast is there. Yeah, you got the shooter, you got the planners, you got the people who can cover it up. This is great stuff.
We're going to do everything we can to take care of you on that car. Nothing more exciting to see you in a red Challenger.
I can't believe it. That's crazy.
Now, you know what's funny about that car? I've been looking at that car for a little bit. It's kind of a one-of-a-kind. The guy who owned it did some stuff to it, but I was telling the guys I wanted to put side pipes on it. And
Ooh, that sounds like fun. I like
And
that.
I don't
Well,
want to say this because you'll probably make fun of me too, like your dad did. We lower the front end, raise the back end, do that kind of stuff.
Don Jones wants her to butcher that car because I gave him crap about it a long time ago because he wanted to do some stuff to his Roadrunner that I wouldn't do. So you are about to watch the takedown.
Maybe we get some side pipes from the cheesesteak man. What do you think?
Oh my god.
Been wanting to do this for a long
Well,
time.
I would love to do some stuff to it for sure after I recover from buying it. Of course, with my dad's blessing. You know, I have to have my dad bless everything.
Well,
I
I've
can't
seen you
even
bless
park
him
there.
quite a bit on that show. Bless him off the show a few times and say, get out of the way.
So this is the long con, right? I mean, Don Jones is like a little bit peeved because you made some comment about his car, and so now he's like subverting the will of your daughter to get back at you.
This is going to be pretty neat. Do something cool with this. I want to see it on TV.
Oh, definitely. I'll be driving it.
Revenge is a dish best served cold, my friend. Remember the Bay of Pigs?
I want to see a younger version of a Graveyard Carz. All these cars that Mark does is for the old guys like me.
This is not an assassination.
100 years from now, my brains are going to be missing.
Oh,
They're going to go to the archives and my brains are gone. Anybody see Mark's brains around here?
I've
Oh,
been
they were
asking
over
that
there in that
all
jar.
day.
We got to have a little event down there with you, Cousin Dougie, and Will to top it off. And you're the only one that can get this done because I can tell that Will and you have a special relationship going all the way back, growing up together. I need him to cut his hair off, at least down to manageable level, clean that beard up, because I think we could get a huge television audience on that.
Will is not going to cut his hair. I tried many, many times over the years. I've offered him $5,000 to cut his hair one time.
Seriously?
Yes, I did. I know. You're going to tell me how you could have bought 2 computers for that.
Yeah.
I can do it. That is no problem.
He finds strength in that hair like that crazy SOB from the Bible that was looking up at the light and didn't want his hair cut because Delilah had been cheating on him or something, and they threw that stone and they hit him and everybody couldn't believe they could knock him out like that.
I think you're mixing up all kinds of stories there.
In order to get this done, I need to make sure to get you a signed autograph photo, and then we need to get Tony in on the deal, and then we need to get Will and Doug down here for an event where Will gets his hair cut.
And the beard trim.
And the beard
Do it
trim.
all.
Okay, but wait, what about my dad?
Your dad?
Yeah, what
Everything
about-
was going so good. Why are you bringing him up?
I know, but how are we gonna do all this without him?
This is a perfect example of what happens when you make a deal with the devil at the crossroads.
So Don Jones is the devil.
Well, he's a devil.
I thought you said Will was the devil.
He's a devil too.
You said Tony was the devil
Yeah, I
before.
don't discriminate.
You can get it done.
I'll get it done. I will.
Sounds good. Look forward to all of it coming together.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And there you have it, folks. November 22nd, 1963, about 11:31 a.m. Dallas time. All right. We now have the cylinder heads on. So because we're going to do the roller rockers on this thing, and they have to be independently adjusted, even though they're hydraulic, we're going to put the rocker shafts and the lifters, all that stuff, push rods in place, and we're going to adjust them before we put the intake manifold on. Once we do that, we can do the timing cover, water pump, oil pan. You can finish getting it dressed out. We can see if it's going to run, because I know Mr. Clark can't wait to find out. But I got to tell you, that is one wicked looking setup. That is totally cool. Let me take a little gander at that. Got your Edelbrock aluminum heads on there that are going to be painted orange. You'll never know it. Got your valves with your double valve springs right there.
Very nice.
Very nice. Original F440. Somebody, see how somebody added these little wicked numbers here? Some internally.
Yeah.
I would murder our machine shop if they did that. But it's the numbers matching. You can look down here and see the VIN rail. Everything's everything. Ready for some roller rockers?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm not. I'm hungry.
All right. What happens when you get hungry?
I eat.
Oh.
Coming up,
Man, I'm gonna get in trouble in this thing.
is Alyssa writing checks Will's barber can't cash?
Did you mention anything about you getting your hair cut on camera down at the event?
And that's it. That's the deal.
Yeah.
How far will Alyssa go to keep this deal from going south?
I'll give you $1,000.
And when Will doesn't cut his hair, what are you going to tell Uncle Donnie?
He has to cut his hair. I don't know.
Find out when Graveyard Cars returns.
Wow, this is such a fun car to drive. Man, you can get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble in this thing. Definitely got more than my little Mitsubishi, that's for sure. Wow, the responsive time. Woo! You just like float. That is crazy. It feels nothing like the old Challengers. The old Challengers have that like really reckless, feel like you're gonna lose control, just really raw power, and I love that. That's fun. But this feels like you got so much. Like, it's a lot of car, it's mean, it's deep, and it's controlled power. I like that. You don't feel like it's gonna walk out from under you at all. And when you hit that gas, woo, you go. I cannot wait to see what my dad's gonna say. He's gonna love it. Can't wait to show Will this. He's gonna love it too. Everybody's gonna, I got the coolest car at Graveyard Cars now. Get that 300 out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get it out of here.
I'm glad everybody is able to see this and see what I have to deal with on a daily basis. She made a deal with the devil. Then she comes back to the shop and gets the original Benedict Arnold to co-conspire with her.
It's over here. It's over here. How could you
So
miss
what have
it?
you done?
Look at this thing. Isn't it beautiful?
That's a gorgeous car.
Do you know what conspire means?
Yeah. It means to breathe together. Con and spire, like it's Latin again.
That's a pretty car.
Ain't that rims?
Well, it's not rims. They're like factory wheels.
Yeah, but they're still aftermarket.
Everybody,
Mopar. Thank you.
They're not aftermarket.
They are. They didn't come original in the car.
They came original on these cars, not this particular car.
See what I'm saying?
What year?
An 09.
Oh, man.
Isn't that beautiful? Look, it still smells new, even though it's a 2009.
You, sir, are a co-conspirator.
I'm a co-conspirator?
You're a co-conspirator.
I'm just trying to like put this thing in a positive light. That's
No,
it.
the whole fact that we're standing here doing this means that you approve of it and you're getting great joy out of it.
I am getting great joy out of this.
Huh?
Interesting.
Pretty nice.
So a 2009 Challenger, red, supercharged, 21,000 miles, no leather. You got this for 20?
Yeah.
How'd you pull that off?
Okay, well, Don Jones, you know.
Yeah.
He gave me an amazing deal. He gave it to me for my price, and we just have to go up and do an event and like take a picture. Like, that's it.
We?
Yeah, come on, you could do that for me.
Notice the thing she's omitting from the conversation with Will, the one about the haircut,
Yeah.
right? That's appalling behavior. You never do that kind of stuff.
How are you appalled at this? You do this stuff to me all the time. Whenever you want something, this is like right out of the Mark Worman playbook.
So I had to go down to the dealership
Yes.
and take a picture.
Yeah, they're having.
And because of that, he knocks like 10 grand off the price because I'm gonna go take a picture for him.
And on top of that, he even offered to help me get some aftermarket parts for this car.
Like,
He said side pipes and stuff, but I know my dad would hate that.
he's
That
getting
would,
that for you?
Yeah, that's what he said. Because, you know, back in the day, he said that when my dad and him would go buy cars, that's the first thing they do, you know? As my dad would say,
Right.
butcher them.
Right.
So, but that's what makes them so cool. So I definitely want to do the rims and stuff, but I want your help with that part of it.
Oh yeah,
For
for sure.
sure.
So 10 grand less,
Dude, I know, it's crazy.
aftermarket parts to go on this car.
And he's also gonna pay for the aftermarket parts.
and I just have to show up with you. He doesn't want Mark.
Not
Go
even
down
that.
there, do an event, whatever he wants,
Yeah, and take a picture. And
That's
we'll
it.
probably sign the picture, you know, I mean, it's the least we can do.
and that's it. That's the deal.
Yeah.
He knows I don't like this stuff. I hate it all. I hate the supercharger. I hate the air cleaners. I hate the big wheels. I hate the sound of all the crap that they do. But yet, he's just pumping her along. Yeah, Mark's gonna like it. Mark's gonna like it. That's a perfect example of how it continues to get worse by the minute.
I'm all about this one here.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's my favorite, most iconic spoiler, I think. What do you think?
I like this one.
What about you?
I'm not a big fan. It looks good on like the 70, but on a new Challenger, I don't think that's very good.
I realize that you get a great joy out of this. She's got Brody and Josh, Will's in there with her, picking all these parts out for a car that I don't like the car and I don't like the parts. Oh, hey, by the way, Tara wrote me the other day. She sends me this little clip. She says, do you know who did the voice for the Great Gazoo? I said, I have no idea. Do you know?
I don't.
Harvey Korman. Harvey Korman did the voice for the Great Gazoo.
Really?
Yep. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I never knew that. I like that character. He wasn't real, though.
Harvey Korman is a human being. What are you talking about?
Well, he's dead.
I know he's dead. Who's not real?
The Great Gazoo.
The Flintstones aren't real. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, but we watched it every day.
Ah, God, she did it. You see the car? She was just supposed to go drive it. Go look at it. Tell me what she thought. She's bought the car. I know she's bought the car. My worst nightmare has come true. And you're okay with that. That's the worst part. Yeah.
That's the
Okay,
worst.
Why don't you pay for it then?
That doesn't make any sense.
What's wrong? I like it.
Got it.
We can put the nice tips on it.
Chrome, right?
It's a stainless, so
Okay.
yeah.
But like chrome
yeah,
tips?
Yeah, the
'Cause
chrome tips.
Would I need to get
3-inch.
different ones, or would they work with the?
They'll probably work with what you
the
have
chrome
already.
tips? Okay.
But
What
that's-
about cutouts?
Well, if it isn't for Judas's, where's the shaker of salt that you want to spill when you snitch Jesus off to the Pharisees? Alyssa, you got just a second there, Tiger?
For what?
Chit chat with you in the office, if you don't mind.
Right now?
All right.
All right, you guys.
What car did we do?
I don't know. It's
Good
probably
Yes.
something stupid. Sure.
You had cutouts. I liked it.
Did it actually sound good?
It did. I mean, you get a.
How you doing?
get the
Fine,
loudness
what's-
when you
what's
want
going
it,
on?
Where you can just cruise nice
Wanted
and
you-
quiet.
You look mad.
No. What's happening?
Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, isn't it beautiful?
A nice car.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I actually got it, that I went down there in the same day. They had what I was
can't either.
looking for, and I was able to drive it home.
You said you were going to go down there and check them out, and then you were going to get back with me. Did you buy the car?
Well, yeah, but it's a great deal. I really think that you're gonna love it.
You see Paul?
Yeah, he was a super nice guy. He showed me a couple of the other Challengers they have in the lot, but they were just like out of my price range. So when we went back inside, he was gonna look at the other dealerships and they didn't have anything else. But while he was doing that, they had this one in the showroom. It's only an 09, so it's like 13 years old, but it was taken care of really well. It's beautiful.
How many miles are on it?
Around 20,000?
20,000 miles. So how much did you pay for that?
20,000.
You paid 20 grand for that? No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
No, I did.
You couldn't buy a car with 20,000 miles for $20,000, even in 09. So
Well, I know, but this is the really cool part that I think you're gonna be really excited about.
I bet I'm not.
Well,
Go ahead.
Paul goes in and calls Don Jones, you know, one of our clients that owns the dealership, and he let him know that I was there and we were having a hard time like matching up a car to me. So he ended up just having me come in the office and talk to him, and he cut me a deal.
What were they asking for the car?
I think they were asking 30.
Don said you can have it for 20 because he likes you?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta interrupt, but this is textbook Park Worman. This is like you taught a master class and she's your best student. I mean, this is exactly you.
But then there's also like some other things that I have to do for him and stuff.
What
But
would those be?
I have to get Will to cut his hair. That's the one thing I'm not.
When old Magic Hat finds out that he has to cut his hair, he is gonna go Jeffrey Dahmer on her ass.
He's gonna start eating people?
What am I gonna say no to the deal over a haircut? I gotta get it done.
You told them what they wanted to hear. What else is part of the deal? They need my firstborn? Well, that's you. So they can have you. What's the rest of the deal?
I had to take a picture and autograph a picture, and
Oh,
we're gonna
that's
have an
great.
event, and we're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
go
we'll
down
post
there.
it in our
and
social media.
No,
That's
no.
great. Who took the picture?
We haven't took it yet.
You just said you took a picture.
We're gonna take a picture.
We?
That's like right out of your playbook again. This is like stumbling through words, being evasive, being ambiguous. You know, when I come in asking for something, you do this all the time.
Am I missing something here?
I don't know, are you? I don't understand why you're not happy for me. This is great.
What else did you promise Don Jones?
Well, first of all, I call him Uncle Donnie now.
And when Will doesn't cut his hair, what are you going to tell Uncle Donnie?
He has to cut his hair. I don't know.
That's a good plan.
I know.
That's definitely a good plan. Yeah. What else you got cooking? Saw you in there conspiring with the Judases. What's that about?
I'm gonna do a couple things in my car. I mean, like, you know, obvious stuff like new wheels and tires.
I don't know. That's what I asked
maybe exhaust and new wing and stuff.
No, you're not. You couldn't even afford the car. You had to sell graveyard cars out to Uncle Donnie.
That's part of the deal. So if there's any aftermarket accessories that I want, he said that he'd pay for them for me.
When I was in that office, this is the first I heard of the deception, the coup, the planned coup. Okay?
So, is it because it's not about you? Is that why you're mad?
That's a mean thing to say. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's not about me. It just happens to be about a bunch of aftermarket parts bolted onto a somewhat decent car when it started life, which I really don't care about.
Now look, I know you think I'm a butcher. Uncle Donnie said we were all butchers at first.
You know, there's a lot of promises being made here, and Don's right at the root of it all. I just think that this is a train wreck that is not going to end well for anybody.
No, I disagree. This is good. She's excited about this project. People can kind of learn along with her as she goes through this whole thing. We never do aftermarket stuff. We never do newer cars. It's broadening our horizons.
Kind of like Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Sure, yeah. Graveyard Carz: The Next Generation.
Hated that series.
Okay.
So let me just see if I got this straight. You asked me what I thought about you getting a car to sport around town. I said, I think it's a bad idea. You said, I think it's a good idea. I already talked to Chris. I said, I don't want nothing to do with it. Go see Paul. I ain't involved. I ain't paying for it. You go down there. You look at cars in your budget around $20,000. Paul hasn't got anything. You see something on the showroom floor for $30,000 and you say, hey, I think I'd like to have that car. What kind of deal can I get? Paul gets on the phone, calls Don Jones, Uncle Donnie. Uncle Donnie comes back with, oh yeah, give her the car for the 20 grand. She's family, that's fine. And then on top of that, he talks you into putting a bunch of aftermarket parts on the car and paying for it at the same time. And all we have to do is go down to Cottage Grove, all of us, sign a photograph in front of the dealership, and you have to convince Will to cut his hair. That's it?
That's it.
Well, why didn't you just say that in the first place?
I mean,
That's
who hasn't
reasonable.
heard that 1,000 times?
Yeah, I mean, it's the oldest story in the book. Thanks for playing.
Where are you going?
Well, I'm gonna go see my cousin Dougie, talk to somebody normal for a little while.
What are you talking about? What does that mean?
There's no future in any of this stuff for me, so why in the world would I care?
The aftermarket industry for these cars is a $12 billion a year market.
With a B?
Yeah, with a B.
I mean, I never said I hated the idea. Just to catch everybody up, we have the aluminum heads are installed. The camshaft, timing chain, and gears are installed. Now remember, we ran the Mother Thumper, which is a comp cam. We got their lifters to go with it. Here's our rocker assemblies. These are roller rockers. Best you can ask for. Great stuff. Much different than the other rocker assemblies. You see that they require a ball-style pushrod, like a factory Mopar would. The lifter requires a ball style on that end, like most all lifters do. The problem is, when you buy this, it tells you what the length of the pushrod is that you need, but not where to get it. Nobody makes it. Is it 9 1/8 inches long?
Yeah.
Nobody makes it. You can't order it, you can't go online. The ones they sell you, they lie about online and tell you that it's a double ball end and it's not. Well, Smith Brothers over in Bend, Oregon, custom make them. So these guys actually custom made push rods for me for this engine. Dougie, let's put some push rods in. You want to put some push rods in? These push rods upset you?
These push rods made me very happy.
They made me happy too. Okay, my push rods are in on my side. The next thing we're going to install is the roller rocker assembly. Okay, now on this roller rocker assembly, even though we're running hydraulic lifters, you can adjust them. Whereas in a normal big block, there's no adjustment for this. You just tighten down the rocker arm assembly and you're finished. In this particular case, we have to adjust these after they're in. So for right now, we have them backed completely off. I have this as far back as possible so we can get these bolted down and torqued into place. After that, we can go ahead and adjust them. Does this work just like a regular Mopar, Doug? Can I start it like that and roll it over?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
I think everything's going to work out just fine.
In this case, we've got a huge comp cam, so it's very important that we dial these things into perfection. So it's just a neat thing about the roller rockers, you can adjust them.
That is cool.
Yeah. Okay, Doug, go ahead and do your side there.
Okay.
Here you go, Douglas.
What would I do without you?
Here's this one. You're gonna
I'd be
want that
lost,
too.
wouldn't I?
So we're gonna run this down. These are going into an aluminum head, so you do want to use a torque wrench. We rarely use one on regular engines because everything's cast or steel and you're not gonna hurt much that way. In this particular case, we're gonna use a torque wrench. So we've got to start walking these down. All right, Dougie?
Yeah.
When you're going into aluminum, it is easy to strip. It's not like cast iron. It doesn't have the strength that cast iron does. So mandatory, have a good torque wrench ready anytime you're bolting something into aluminum. This says the rocker shaft bolt torque is 25 foot-pounds. But then I see people saying nowadays that it's pound-feet of torque. Do you happen to know which one it is?
Wait, what did Marissa Tomei say and my cousin Vinny?
Maybe she did say
I think
foot-pounds.
she says foot-pounds.
She
I
did
think
say
so.
foot-pounds.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
I'm gonna go with Marissa Tomei.
We're going with 25
That's
foot-pounds
right.
of torque. You don't like it? Call Marissa Tomei or my cousin Vinny.
Yep.
We have our rocker shafts in and torqued down. We have push rods in. We have lifters in. Timing chain and gears heads are on and secured. So the next thing we're going to do, and we're going to leave the intake off. Normally we put the intake on right now and then finish building it out. But since we have to adjust these, we want to be able to see that camshaft for ourselves and make sure we're on the back side of the camshaft with the rotation of it so we can adjust these. The valves get set to 0 lash, meaning no play in whatsoever. Number one should be loose right now, right? Because that last time I checked, we were on TDC.
All I'm doing to set it at 0 lash is take all the slack out of the adjuster.
So right now I'm able to push that push rod. Okay, there, you're touching. Back off a hair.
Until there's
somewhere in there.
No slack left.
Yep.
So you can feel it.
Try to use your
Just
hand
get a
on
little
this
bit of
side
friction.
so you can see things. Your hand blocks everything.
Okay.
That's still blocking everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish you got the opportunity to film with Dougie sometime. He's knowledgeable, he knows what he's doing, but he's so easily confused. And now you're going to turn it in a quarter of a turn. So right now your handle's here and you probably want it over here. That's good. All right, in that range. And now he can lock that down. Up, your hand's blocking the shot. Now he just tightens that down. And now we're gonna do the same thing to this. See that play in there? A little bit more. There's 0 lash right there. And now we are going to lather, rinse, and repeat 7 more times, folks. You can't get in a hurry. This takes time. Each one needs to be individually adjusted to perfection before you can go on, and there's 16 of them. The engines I've seen this cylinder head and camshaft setup go on, even with stock manifolds, went from the 390 horse almost to 500 horse. Whoa. Just bolt-on parts. So if that's one of the things you're considering, it's definitely tips the scale. When I build my 440 for my Charger, I have every intention of doing this now because it is a very slick setup.
Wow.
And if it's painted, yeah, I know, Mr. OE.
No, this is good.
I will
This is
say
good.
it's a very, very good thing.
So you're an AM convert.
All right, so Doug finally has the engine on the run stand. We're ready to fire it up just one more time through. The owner wanted the different heads on it. He wanted the big camshaft in it because he wanted the performance. But his goal was to make sure that this engine looked 100% as close as we could to OEM. Mm-hmm. We're running an electric fuel pump for right now. Is that true?
That's correct.
All right, we've got an electric fan ready to fire up. You believe the distributor's right, which means it's 180 degrees out. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay. And you're all hooked up over here for your water temperature, oil pressure, and your voltmeter. Well, we don't care much about the volt because we don't have the alternator hooked up. I'm going to turn this ignition key into the on position. Does that upset you?
Not a bit.
Okay. I'm going to turn the fuel pump into the on position. Does that upset you?
No.
Now I hear an electric fuel pump.
I do too.
That would mean I should have an yeah, look at the nice, pretty jet down the accelerator. Take
me?
Oh, please, yeah.
I get scared of these things, Mark. They spew out fire every time. Lots of fuel.
Okay.
Look at that.
All right. You want to just see if it'll start?
I want to see if it'll start.
Hell's bad word, yes, we can do that. Okay.
What could go wrong?
I've got coil power on. I've got fuel pump on. I'm not going to turn the fan on just yet. I'm going to pump this a couple of times and watch this thing
I'm going to stand
explode.
back.
You ready to see it explode?
Oh, I don't know about...
God, that sounds good.
Yeah. Look at the oil pressure.
Woo! Holy cow. The engine runs absolutely fantastic. I like the Mother Thumper because it is a thumping cam. And the throttle response, as quick as you hit that throttle, it revs. Beautiful. Runs good, great throttle response. That's fantastic. I gotta go see Will.
You go see Will?
I'm gonna go see my little friend Will.
Ooh.
Have some information
Yeah?
that might be valuable. Have you heard much about the Challenger deal?
No.
Pretty interesting stuff. I think you're gonna like the sound of it. Listen for a yelling or screaming coming out of the paint shop very soon. And I just want you to know, this ain't for me. I'm just doing my job.
All right.
Why would you have to go over and be the one to tell Will?
Because I'm the bearer of truth, Aaron. And I
made this pot. What was that?
Nothing to do with that. Willie, my man.
My man.
My toucan Sam, my can of Spam, my green eggs and ham.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good.
Good. What you doing?
Getting these parts wrapped up so I can
Looking
get them cut
good.
in
Rear
so
body
they can-
panel for the CUDA?
Yeah, and this is the front filler for
Nice.
the orange GTX.
This has got a nice car, huh?
It's a good looking car. I'm happy for it.
Very, very good car.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm excited too. Got a hell of a deal.
I
to
know,
be
I'm gonna
honest.
have to go down
A
there.
hell of a deal. A hell of a deal.
She got some parts for her car.
Yeah, aftermarket, bunch of
parts.
aftermarket stuff. You know how I love that.
Yeah. And then they're doing like a live event down there, like music and signings, pictures, that.
No,
type of
you guys
thing.
are taking a photo in front of the dealership, I was told.
I'm just going by what Alyssa told me. She said, you're not invited.
So that's the deal? Dawn's gonna give her 10 grand worth of parts, knock 10 grand off the car to go down there and do a signing? That's more money than I get when I go to SEMA.
Well, I don't know. You're
Huh?
the Mopar ambassador, so I don't question too
Did you
much.
mention anything about you getting your hair cut on camera down at the event?
Oh, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It has to happen. She promised Don Jones.
I am not a
Yeah.
chance in hell I'm
You made
cutting
the
my
deal.
hair. I didn't make. I'm not cut.
There she is
There
right
she-
there. Yeah. Hey, Leslie, you got some parts for the car?
I do. I wanted to show Will.
That's
Wanna
great.
take a look?
Well, listen, I'm
My
going to leave
first-
you guys
the first
together
thing that came
to
in.
chat. Okay. I
So
want
what
you
was the
guys
other
to
part
have
of this
a little
deal?
bit of a
What are you
chat
talking about?
and just enjoy
Your dad
yourself.
just
What
told
is
me.
he talking about?
Have a little conversation. Alyssa, your car looks great.
Thank you. What?
The second part of the deal.
What do you mean?
This is what happens
you out of
when in
Look, it's not
the what a tangled web we weave
Yes.
when first we practice to the
That is a deal I made.
See, you don't catch me doing this stuff.
But
She
I'll give you $1,000.
Wheeled and dealed, told Don whatever he wanted to hear to get the car. It's not right. I don't do that. She's got a hard lesson.
He shaved 10 grand off the car. You can't do that for me. I would do it for you.
Why wouldn't you ask me
Will
first?
Cutting his hair. I have a better chance of winning the lottery. I have been trying for years. I one time offered him $5,000 cash.
It was me, the
Not doing
sales
it.
guy, and the
Not
other
doing it.
sales
I
guy,
don't
and
care.
Dawn on the
Why
phone.
wouldn't you call me? And why wouldn't you be like, hey, is
I
this an
didn't have
option?
time. It was
You had
like-
plenty
it
of
was
time.
wheeling and dealing. You know how it
You don't
is.
wheel and deal.
You know how it is.
I'm not cutting my hair.
Is Will going to save Alyssa thousands and lose his luxurious locks? Or will she be upside down in debt to Don Jones? Can the multi-billion-dollar late-model Mopar aftermarket be a watershed moment for Graveyard Cars? Or will it destroy Mark's OEM street cred? And when the mastermind is exposed, will it be lights out for the #1 painter?
Dude, seriously.
Yeah,
We
dude,
got to talk
seriously.
about this
Horrible
off
idea.
of camera. It's not
There is
10
nothing
grand.
off camera. This is nothing. Not happening.
Dad,
That was a bad decision on her part. Do you just
Seriously?
really go, Dad?
I told you not to tell him.
Not happening.